tell you about this super interesting Akashic chakra scan that I just did for a client and how that pertains to timeline soul fragment healing. I started in the root chakra and I was like, oh, you have a warrior archetype, very arsenal energy. This is fighting for injustices and the truth, sticking up for people. And I was like, oh, you actually work with the fire dragons in a different incarnation, and some things happened in that timeline and you took some trauma from that. I said, and as we got deeper into their chakra system, I was like, you have actually been this type of warrior energy in multitudes of lifetimes. And their higher self was saying 12 to be exact. And I said, that's probably why you've had a difficult time tapping into like feminine energy as far as flow and ease and grace and intuition, because you've been so in your masculine energy for so many timelines back to back to back to back. And so I actually went into the etheric field and called all 12 of those timelines forward. And I said, hey, everybody, love what you've been doing for the collective. Like, that's great. Okay, thank you for that, for your service. I said, but this version of her, they are not wanting to go about their timeline like this. I know that y'all have been ancestrally trying to mentor them and lead and guide them with this warrior archetype, but they are actually choosing a different path for this specific soul contract, and that is causing some tension within them. One, because their central nervous system has been so activated and is going against the archetype that they want to step into in this timeline. And I said, we need to let go of getting them to be this type of healer. I said, you can be a warrior in lots of different capacities. You can be a warrior of peace. You can be a warrior of laughter, a warrior of joy. I said, that type of healing is just as important as what all of you were doing in your timelines. I want to have some like deeper conversations. And then I get into some other chakras, like crown chakra, third eye chakra, throat chakra. And they had a little child inside, like an inner child from this timeline. And we went to their creatrix, which was very interesting. So creatrix is feminine energy, which births things into creation. And we actually went into their creatrix. And I was like, oh, you are a very powerful, magical 3-year-old to be able to get us into this plane. And then I was explaining how quantum manifestation works and how they create their reality based off their projections of self. And so we went to this like beautiful place together. But their 3-year-old was able to see into different frequencies and dimensions when they were a really small child. And if you don't have somebody that can explain to you what those things are, like different beings that you're seeing or different energies that you're feeling or things that you're hearing, it can be kind of scary and you'll shut your spiritual gifts down. And so that's kind of what was going on here. And I was explaining to their inner child, hey, just because things look different from us doesn't mean that they're bad. Okay, there are people in the world that do wonderful things and not so great things. And I said that's the same thing for like unicorns and fairies and dragons and intergalactic beings and all those things. I said that's where we have to use our discernment and intuition and in strong energy fields to not participate in that type of frequencies. I said, but that's not representative of the whole. And I said, sometimes in movies and TV shows as well, anything that looks different from us is depicted as bad or you know, going to harm you in some type of way. I said that's what we call programming. And so they had a little bit of a block with their spiritual and psychic gifts, and so through having those conversations we were able to remove some of that. And then in one of their chakras, Joan of Arc came forward. It was like, oh, I would love to mentor them, because Joan of Arc, even though she's also a warrior type, she does it more so as a protector of the Lightworkers and teaching you how to build a strong energy field, and not so like brazen type of energy, which is so great. That's a great way to help the collective, but not what this person wanted to do in their soul contract. And so she came forward, and one of the ways that all these things were affecting this person in the here and now is that if you're not harnessing warrior energy or arsenal energy in a productive manner, it can make anger within yourself all consuming, and then you can kind of get overstimulated and take that out and be real snappy towards other people, not meaning to be. It's just because of that fire energy that you carry within you, and it just spouts out really easily. And so I was saying that maybe getting into like a community project where you can utilize that in a way that's more funneled properly, that would help. Or you can just not tap into that energy anymore, because that's not necessarily what you signed up to do. In this one, you just had all these guardians that were trying to mentor you, and without them realizing, hey, we're doing the unity consciousness thing over here now. Like, we're really trying to get away from, you know, the arsenal and warrior stuff, and everybody just be at peace and vibe with one another. Which, not saying, you know, there's not still injustices out in the world, but different people need to be working in different type of energies for different type of things, and this person had done that for a long time, so we need to switch on over to this other style. And so I wanted to share this today in case it helps you have a better understanding of how timelines and soul contracts and karmic lessons work. And if you would like your own chakra scan, it's very different for everybody, okay? This getting one, what can come through is past lives, inner child healing, awareness of traumas and releasing those, understandings about karmic lessons you're experiencing. It can be starseed downloads, spiritual gift activations, helping you remove blocks or see what blocks are there. And if you would like one, you can go to my profile and click, and they're under chakra scans, or check the description box here below. And I would love to hear in the comments if you're a timeline reader and what your thoughts are about everything, or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.